Hello, hello. I think we are live. Hello, it's the Melanated Air Hour. That means it's Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern. I am Lene Javette. This is the Melanated Air Hour. I am not by myself. I have beautiful co-hosts that spend time with me during this hour where we talk about blackness. I have Teddy Ewing, who is at the Real Teddy Talks. I have Madam President at One Madam President and Keisha at We Inspire Brands. And we do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern. This is the Melanated Air Hour. So for this hour, your airways will be filled with melanin, with Black women, with Black conversation. Today, we're talking about success. Is success possible, right? How is success measured? As you slowly come into the room, what's up, Nathaniel? B1 fam, I see you. As you come into the room, give us a thumbs up, say hi, say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And also, please feel free to tell us if you think success is possible. So that's the topic today. Is success possible? Now, I'm going to tell you where this came from. The ladies don't even know this yet. So I'm going to bring them up to speed on where this kind of came from. A lot of times we're on social media and I see coaches, mentors, people that kind of do what each one of us does, and they're always flaunting the Gucci bag or the Prada bag or the private jets and the things of that nature. And so I'm always asking myself, me personally, when I reach my personal pinnacle of success, what is it going to look like? And or what is that success? How do you measure success? Because as you guys probably know, and or Oprah, whomever, the line for success is consistently moving, right? You get six figures, that's not enough. Now you want, multiple six figures. Multiple six figures, not enough. Now you want a million. You work hard, you get out of the Toyota and you get into the Honda, you get out of the Honda, you go to the Lexus, then out of Lexus. When is success ever enough? Is success possible? Do you ever actually reach a level of success where you feel like, I've arrived? So I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to ask you, Teddy, first. What is your definition of success? What does success look like to you?
Well, welcome everyone to the Melanated Air Hour. Let's talk about success. So success to me has changed a lot, especially when I took on entrepreneurship, because I really just want to be happy and I want to be content. I don't want to be stressed out. I want to spend time with my family and I do want to make a lot of money, but I want all of those things to be balanced. So my definition of success is being able to do the three most important things, which is have time, extra time, so I'm not working all day, have capital so I can live the lifestyle I want to live and spend time with my family. So as long as I'm doing something that allows me those three things, capital, time, family time, then I feel like I'm successful. Now, ask me 5 years ago, it was some dollar figure, some house size, some other comfort level that was part of that success. But now it's just being able to fulfill those things, and it's completely internal to me and my family. It's not external. I don't need external validation. I don't need anyone to pat me on the back. I don't need any of that, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. My approval rating, right, with my customers, my clients, my students, my audience, my family, the approval rating will be high. So then I'll know I'm successful. And I don't need the numbers to match, because that means they're buying my courses. They're buying my products. They're doing the thing. My family's happy. They feel seen. They feel like I'm present, and everyone is content. And if that happens, then I'm successful.
Nice. Go ahead, Madam President.
I was just saying that's very nice. This is actually a tough question. I feel like it's that interview question, what do you see yourself in 5 years? And you like, well, not here. I wish I was here right now. But, what do I consider to be successful? I was listening to that. And I think what I consider to be successful is a debt-free life, a life where I can literally choose to work or not work, creatively or not creatively. Just basically, I no longer have to exchange time for money. That's what I consider to be successful, when I no longer have to exchange time for money, and I could basically live my lifetime without thinking of money. That's what I consider to be successful. And that's very hard. And I'm going to tell you that I have a Jewish friend of mine who it's probably the age of my grandfather, who basically she retired. I think she was probably 68, 69. And I said, well, what brought out this retirement? She was very healthy and, very active. She said, well, my accountant said that we had enough money to live until we were well into our hundreds comfortably. And that included travel and more grandchildren, etc. She said, so I thought that was enough for me to go ahead and walk away. And at that moment, I realized what success was. It was just like, wow, this is what success is, maybe minus the 50 years of working to a company, but this is a prerequisite: family, and control over your time.
Okay, time seems like it's a theme. Go ahead, Keisha.
Time for sure. First of all, I want to say social media is so fake. Like it's so fake. I had a client the other day and we were talking about success. So that's why I'm glad we're talking about this. And she said to me, I see everybody on social media with the cars and they're flying private and they have all of these things. And I feel like I'm not going to be successful, even if I start my t-shirt business, if I don't get there. And I said, let me tell you something. That plane, that whole airplane thing, private jet, they have something. I believe it's in LA. And it's like just a photo op. It's not even a real private jet. So I just want to start off with that people are showing you things. And I'm not saying every single entrepreneur, every single person, because there are people that fly private. But there are people that go to these places for these photo ops because they need that validation that Teddy was talking about. So they need that validation from their social media followers, from other people like, oh, yeah, oh, look at this. I want to attain, and strive to be this. So I just want to start off with that. Social media is fake. My definition of success. Now, this is a tough question because I see success at different levels. So I see success, overall success. I agree with you, ladies. It is that time freedom, right? That time I get to spend with my loved ones, me being financially free. So definitely that is my definition of success. However, you do have day-to-day success. So today, maybe I accomplished everything that I wanted to get done. I had a successful day. And I think it's important for us to stop and say, hey, even though I'm not at that overall goal, each day that I am working toward that, I am successful. So for me, it's, I guess, twofold. It's the overall as well as that day to day.
Okay. So I wrote some different things down, and I'm going to come back to those things. So when I think about success for myself, right, it's definitely time freedom. It's being able to, and for those you guys may not know, I'm in Chicago, right? So it's being able to come to Chicago and have a meeting with my team and talk about business. It's the ability to do that, right? To not want to do it, but to really be able to do those things. So it's the ability to follow your dreams, to meet your goals. It's time freedom. It's giving back. It's being able to take care of other people, your family, your friends. You know what I'm saying? Being able to support them. It's being able to come and go as you feel, live where you want, drive what you want. It's freedom, right? It's really, it's just the freedom to not have to want to do something that you cannot do. That's that's success. Um, and that varies for each person, right? So one of the things I have to deal with myself a lot of times is self-awareness, right? And not being judgmental, because sometimes you'll look at somebody who has, let's just say $250,000. Let's make it more realistic, right? Let's say somebody making $250,000 a year and they get flued out, or they're flying somebody out, and they are, balling out with their cars and balling out with their clothes. And sometimes I get to add the spirit of judgment where I'm like, you know what you could be doing with your life besides spending money on cars and houses and clothing that depreciates, you know what I'm saying? I get judgmental sometimes when I look at those things, and I have to realize, realize that everybody's version of success is different. For some individuals, that is a level of success. I want to get to a place where I can buy what I want to buy. I want to be able to have the pride. I want to be able to do these things. That's just not for me. Like even right now, when I think about, so I'll go around the room, right? What is, so thank you for, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about success today. Is it possible? What does it look like? How do you measure it? If you're just tuning in, give us the hello or what's up, say hi, and also give us your definition of success. What does success look like to you? Okay. So I'm going to go around the room and just ask a couple of questions, just in a couple different areas to see what your version of success looks like in these areas, right? So car, right? So if you could have any car that you want, you've arrived, quote unquote, you're successful, what kind of car would you drive? Teddy.
You know what? I love my car. I have a Lexus FX37 mid. I'm not Lexus. Listen to me. Infinity. They're similar. Infinity FX37 mid-size SUV. So it has the leather, a lot of auto, has a banging engine, so it can float. Flew by somebody if it needs to, and I love it. And it was, it's pricey, but it's a 2014. And I'm here in Egypt. I brought it to Egypt with me. If y'all seen any videos about Egypt, the traffic is crazy. So if it gets dings and dents, I'm okay because I love that car. I've had more expensive cars that cost a lot at the dealership, at the maintenance, when you're getting it maintenance and service and all that. And we let that go. So I used to think I want that symbol. But then when you're paying for the symbol and I have too much understanding of money and how it flows, I was like, you know what, forget that. So we got rid of the Mercedes, got the Infinity, and I've had it for, 7 years now. I'm extremely happy. So I want a car that's all leather, all power. The seats get hot or cold, and that engine is good. That's my definition of a success in my vehicle.
Okay. Joel Torres said, I drive an electric scooter and I am the happiest and lovingest person in the world. And we're going to talk about that. I literally wrote that down. You have a lot of people that are broke that are happy, and a lot of people who are quote unquote successful and miserable. We're going to talk about that. Keisha, what's your ideal success car? Like, I'm successful. I drive this car now.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've never thought about that question as it pertains to a car, because I am not a huge car person. So my car is my baby. And let me tell you, I drive a Nissan Sentra. It's a 2020. I got it in 2020. So that was a success for me, that I got a car the year it came out. So it's just like, oh, I got my baby. That is, so that to me is success. Like getting the car that I want when I want it. And I mean, like, it has everything that I need. I'm able to connect my music. People know, don't call me while I'm driving, because that is my music time. So that to me is success as it pertains to a car. Other things, yes, of course I thought about, but cars, like, as long as it's working and it's really good on gas, that's a good thing as well. So I feel like I'm already successful in my car.
Okay. So Joel Torres says, can I pick up Keisha on a scooter?
Hold on. Joe, I just said I had a car. We're going to have to, come on. I can't ride on the scooter, Joe.
Okay, Madam President, what would your ideal car be from a success standpoint?
I have a nice car that I like, right? But I do believe that I will never forget that I had a thing for Bentley coupes at one point in time. And then I kind of like looked them up and I was like, whoa, you got to have some real money to ride one of these. This is not the kind of car you be like, yeah, I got a car. No, this is the kind of car you pay cash. This is not a car that you get on credit, And then I realized too that I think if I was like living that epitome life of success, I would have a driver.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, let me cut in. Because in Cairo, everything's inexpensive, much more inexpensive than the States. So we have drivers. And that's because the traffic is crazy. And I'm telling you, this is another reason I can't see myself going back to the United States. I have luxurious things and services here at bargain basement prices that elevate me and make me feel good. I come to my apartment, and the apartments is like their homes, and we have like housemen. They're called BOABs. I don't touch a bag. Like they grab the bags and we pay them. I don't even want to tell you how little we pay them every month. But I don't touch a bag. I come in, they bring it up to the house. I mean, they put it away if you needed it to. So
What?
yes, I'm with you, Madam President. The driver makes it all. And that's why I can't afford to go back to the States, because I like my inexpensive drivers here.
I mean,
So
luxury is such a. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Keisha.
I was just going to say, it also sounds like convenience. So not just freedom, but also that convenience, having access to convenience.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
One for success. I'm like Keisha. I think about success all the time, and I think about what it's going to look like, but I never included it as a car. So it wasn't really until recently that now I'm kind of thinking like, well, what kind of car would I drive? Like if I could drive whatever car I want, and I really didn't know. I got into my girlfriend's Mercedes Benz the other day, and I was like, I like this. I could see myself in this. And I like the new Volvo truck. But literally, I just seen them driving down the street, and I was like, oh, that's nice. But for me, my car has not been tied to success yet. Like I'm like, it is what it is, right? So let's talk about money. Let's talk about finances, right? So because a lot of times that's what we consider somebody to be successful. They make this much money, they're successful. And I think that that's relative, right? Because if you only make $50,000 and your cousin makes $250,000, you think your cousin is successful. But your cousin is looking at her boss who makes $750,000 and she's trying to get to that. The boss who's making $750,000 is looking at the CEO who's bringing in 2.5 million. The CEO who brings in 2.5 million is trying to figure out how he can get on the 10. Like success from a financial standpoint is so relative. And once you get to that number, this is where is success possible. Once you say, I want to reach six figures, and you reach six figures, are you successful? Or did you just reach the goal?
That's a good question.
Here's the thing. Ask yourself ask yourself when you cried about something years ago, you cried about not having something that you have now. So think about a moment where you wanted a relationship, you wanted money, you wanted a good job. And so 10 years ago for us, 10 years ago, 15 years ago for some, and you were crying about something and you actually have it now. Are you happy? Are you content? So as you keep leveling up, I talk about this a lot with my clients. If you keep leveling up your lifestyle, you'll never reach that epitome or that pinnacle, because the more money you make, the more money you spend. If you always spend 75% of your income, then you're always going to only have 25% to spend, and you're never going to feel like you've attained anything. So you have to lower your spending, lower your expenses, so that you can have that money. They call it FU money, that fire money at the end, so that when your job is tripping or you're feeling stressed out, you can be like, you know what, I'm taking a sabbatical. And they're like, well, you can't. You can be like, oh, yes, I can.
I can.
That's when you hit them with the FU.
Right, exactly. I think there's a difference between striving to get to that next level and being grateful and appreciative of where you are now, and striving to get to that next level and not feeling like you have enough. So that's the difference. That's the difference between abundance mindset and scarcity mindset. So I feel that when you have abundance mindset, no matter where you are in life, you feel that you are successful because you are appreciating and you are showing gratitude for where you are. So where I am now, I wasn't last year, and I am grateful for where I am now, even though I know it's not where I ultimately want to be. But I have to say, hey, I took these steps and I am grateful for this moment. So I want people to be aware of that destination happiness, that destination success, which says, I will be happy when, I will be successful when. It's like, no, take right now and say, hey, I've accomplished so much up until this point. I have success now. I am successful now, even though there are still more things that I want to strive for.
I think that's a good point, right? We look at success a lot of times as this very far and distant feat that we're trying to attain, right? I want a house, I want $100,000, I want to do that. And a lot of times we don't give ourselves credit and grace for the small successes that we have along the way. Yeah. There's milestones, there's due dates, there's accolades that you have to hit in order to get to the final destination, the final place that you want to be. And a lot of times we don't give ourselves enough grace and credit for those things. Right now, probably the majority of you that are on here are already successful in some right? You may not be where you want to be. You might not be doing what you want to do. You still may be going to a 9 to 5. You want to be an entrepreneur, but there's levels to success that allow us to be successful today, that allow us to be successful right now. And sometimes we'll discount that success because it's not the success that we think it should look like. Like we have this idea of what success should look like, the Joneses, the Prada bags, the airplanes, the trips, the travel. Like that's what success is. That's what social media tells us that success is. That's how social media defines success. And so if you're not living up to that level, a lot of times people will feel like, well, they're not successful. When in reality, you get to define success.
You get to
yourself, success for your family, success in your finances, and success is all about growing. I hope and pray you don't reach a particular level and just get content. All right, I'm making $200,000, so I'm good now. I don't have to do anything else. I'm successful. I don't have to try. I forget who said it in the comments. If I can find it, I'll bring it back up. But somebody says success is leaving my family well off. I love that. I don't want my family to have to start all over. I want to work hard, build quote unquote my success, and have something to pass off to my children so that they are set up so that they have something to pass off to their children. So success should be, could be, can be legacy. It's not just on me. It's not me and my generation having what it needs, but it's multi-generational.
Yeah.
A lot of times you hear about, I think it's like maybe not the NBA, but I don't want to mix my words or even tell a lie, but you hear about people that become successful and their success is only in their generation. Their children don't walk into that same level of success. Or you hear about people that say, I don't want to have a life insurance policy, or I'm not going to leave anything to anybody else, or I'm going to donate it all. And they don't leave their family set up properly. Like that's not successful. If you're the only person that gets the benefit from your hard work, I don't think that that's success. What do you guys think?
Well, I just want to say that I'm so glad that we're having this conversation because it really made me kind of take a moment. Because, when we go through our day to day, we don't have the opportunity to just really think enough, right? So it's like, how often do you just really get a chance to think about what you consider to be successful, all the things that you asked for and have been accomplished? Like, what do you really want? And then when I think about success, it's like, I think about other people like, oh, you know what? I think a successful person will help other people, change the lives of others, right? And then I said, well, a successful person would, have a garden, feed people in the community. And so I was also thinking about Malcolm X, how Malcolm X was the largest leader of the Nation of Islam and became a global phenomenon. And he did not have a home that he owned. He had a home that he lived in. I don't think that, basically what I'm trying to say is you have so many people in this world that are so successful that have no material gain. And we cannot diminish or make that small because some people are just literally walking around here. That's a beam of light for so many and just going into a small apartment, catching a bus, but they're loved and most of all they're impactful. So it's like a lot of the things you look at a big time movie star and they have a whole lot of money. You see like how could let me use this person, Mike Tyson, and I'm gonna pass the mic. Mike Tyson he said I lost $400 million in years. That's insane. All four of us could take that same money, split it 4 ways, and never have that conversation go like that. I lost $400 million in years. He was like, I was in prison. All these things that we believe to be success. This is a successful man sitting in prison and lost $400 million. So I think the more we streamline exactly what we consider to be successful, the more barriers we break with a societal standard. We no longer allow society to influence how we feel about the lives that we truly live. Okay, I'm done.
I didn't say losing 400 million. Like, damn, like that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yes, right. Like how do you like financial planning? Who's in your corner? Who's on your team? That's another conversation. We should have that.
That's the most
Who's on
important
your team?
conversation.
Who surrounds
That is.
you?
Yeah.
But hold on, let's just say also too, how many times they dupe you about being successful. Hey, you're a big successful star. I got to get you in the nicest car. You're a big successful star. I got to get you a 24-room house. What am I doing with a 24-room house? Who's going to live in that with me unless I'm bringing my whole generational line from grandmama and them, her sisters, cousins. Like that's the only time you need that kind of home.
And they don't.
Right.
No. So they literally this is how they make money, constantly telling you what you need to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why your success has to be measured from inside. And that's the danger of social media. Keisha, I saw you did a good Instagram video this morning about how people reacted to Facebook being that. It's so funny because it's like extreme. People didn't know Facebook, and I knew WhatsApp was down because in the overseas, people use WhatsApp like religiously. We don't use text message or nothing. So I knew something was wrong because WhatsApp wasn't working, not because of Facebook. But we attach too much to that social fake book, and you don't realize what's real. So while somebody's telling Mike Tyson he needs to spend, they're not helping him retain his money because they're making money. They're living their lifestyle off of his money. So you need to have your own internal happiness, your own internal success levels, have a high financial IQ so that you know how to solve your financial problems and you're not relying on anyone. There should never be a time when you have riches, literal riches as measured by assets and money, and you've let someone else responsible for it. And you're not responsible for it yourself. But that's
a good point, Teddy, because sometimes people think that success is getting to a level where somebody else
handle it. Yeah. No.
Yep.
Wrong, as I say, that's wrong. Like you definitely don't.
I wanna just piggyback off of what Teddy said, because I was gonna say the same thing, that you have to start looking internally and not externally. And I learned this maybe like in my early 20s. So I was on the train. I live in New York, so we take the train. So I'm on the train and it's like maybe Valentine's Day or something, and I see this man with like a bouquet of roses, and I was like, wow, my man didn't even do that for me. Oh, I don't think it was Valentine's Day. I think it was just like a regular, day. And I was just like, wow, I wish my man could do that for me. And I wish I had this, and I wish I had this kind of man. And then I stopped and I said to myself, wait a minute, you don't know why that man, first of all, I didn't even know if it was for his woman. It could have been for his mother. We don't know. But you don't know why that man is bringing home roses to his lady, right? He could have abused her the night before, and now he's coming home to apologize. So you really have to check yourself when you are looking at other people saying, I want that, I want that, I want that, because you never know what is really going on with other people. So it should always be internally. It should always come from within, saying, you know what, this is what I want for my life, not comparing it to other people. You don't know what these other people had to do to get what they have. So you really, really need to just stay on your path. Of course, it's great to have role models and mentors, and of course, that's great. But people that you don't know what it took for them to get to where they are.
And that's where we got to stop that relationship goals thing.
Oh,
I've always hated that. And y'all know, because I don't know if y'all read the article with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, or it was with Will Smith's article. And they're a tragedy. Their relationship is crazy. And I don't know how many people were sitting there talking about years ago relationship goals. They've been cheating what is that called?
Swinging.
Yeah, swinging, polyamorous, whatever you want to call it. Probably their whole marriage. And I heard rumors. I remember when I was younger and I heard rumors about that. And this was before the internet was popping. So if I'm a little girl from Canton, Ohio, hearing rumors about Will Smith without internet, I know it has to be some truth to it. So stop that relationship goals. You don't know what Keisha said. You don't know what life people are living. You're at the iceberg. You see the tip of the iceberg. 80% of it's under the water. So you cannot judge what you see by that little piece by what you expect to be going on in your life, because you have no idea.
May I
No
share a
idea.
story about just the relationship aspect? There was this couple on social media, and they were couple goals. And the man, he had this beautiful, elaborate tattoo of the woman, and everybody just aspired to be like them. And he ended up killing the woman. And everyone was so shocked by it because they looked so happy on social media. And that's why I said earlier in the conversation, social media is so fake. It's so fake because we look at these people, we look at these things, and we just have no idea what is really going on. People present to you what they want to present to you. They don't always present the entire story.
Yeah, a lot of times what people don't realize with social media, especially when we're talking about, so we're talking about social success from the perspective of social media, right? So success from the perspective of social media, it takes 15 times to get that right shot that gets posted. That right shot that gets posted has a filter on it. Sometimes people are calling to get a shot with the car. Sometimes people are making an appointment to get a shot with the plane, or they really are on the private plane, but they're doing that rent it by the hour type of a deal. Like there's so many variations to success. There's perspectives, there's angles, the behind the scenes stuff we do not know. Um, so one of the notes I have in here, actually, before I go to the next point, thank you for joining the Melanated Air Hour. If you're just tuning in, we thank you for being here. We do this on every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00 p.m., where we just spend an hour talking about things that are happening in the Black community, or things that Black people should and or could be talking about. Today, we're talking about what success looks like, and how do you measure it? Because it's not measured by what the Joneses are doing. It's not measured by what Hollywood is doing. It's not measured by what's happening in entertainment. We need to take hold of success and make it our own, not look at what somebody else is doing, right? So one of the things relative to success I put on here, there's a lot of broke people that are happy and feel successful. And there's a lot of people who are quote unquote successful and rich and famous who are very unhappy and do not feel good about themselves. So my question to you guys would be, do you have to trade your happiness, your time, and your desires for success? And or would you?
You said trade?
Trade, yeah. And so let me say it this way. So most of us, all of us are entrepreneurs, right? As entrepreneurs, time is of the essence. You work longer, harder hours. Your travel, you got to be online. Being on this entrepreneurship life is not for the faint of heart, right? You got to make a lot of sacrifices to quote unquote get to success. A lot of times, and sometimes people get to success, and I forget who put it in the comments. I posted it a minute ago, but they said they worked so hard for their business that they lost their family, like they lost their relationship. So there's sacrifices that come with success. Kids grow up without their parents, and I mean two people that are married, a husband and a wife. The husband works so much to attain success and be successful that he has a distant relationship with his wife. Kids don't see them. Like there's sacrifices sometimes that have to be made for success. So he is successful. The wife is married to him and she has success, but she's lonely. She's miserable. She doesn't have any companion, but they're successful. So what's more important? So what's important to you? Would you trade happiness for success?
That's a tough question. Trade happiness for success. Well, if I'm reaching, I think I'm in a space now where I do work a lot of long hours. I do find myself in sometimes in compromising spaces where, for example, it's my mother's birthday this weekend, and I'm just like, I'm not doing it. I got to go to the All Black National Convention at the end of the month. I'm not headed to Chicago and doing all this different stuff too. And then I think sometimes romantically, I think it gets in the way if you are trying to attain certain things. Like, there are large sacrifices that comes with goals and delayed gratification. And I heard an Olympian, a gold medalist a few years back, not this current time, one of the swimmer guys, but it wasn't Phelps. He says that I haven't had dessert all year. He said, I was waiting for this moment. So for him, meanwhile, I have a piece of cake whenever I get ready, and that's my problem, but I'm not a gold Olympian, I'm not a gold medalist. So I do believe, Lene, that there are sacrifices, great sacrifices that comes along with attaining certain goals. And we try to ask God to help us do this correctly, so that it is like the extension of it from an external standpoint comes out right. So if you marry somebody, they know you want to do something, they know how important it is to have financial stability. God should be in the center of the relationship, so that when you are pulled away, they know that you aren't leaving emotionally, that you're still present, and that person know too, okay, my wife or my husband got some heavy things going on. What role can I play in this? So it requires a lot of togetherness to obtain great things. I think about the women who lended their husbands to the civil rights movement. I don't know why I'm always going to the 60s. I really need to stay
Do it.
but like I do that so often. But the women who lended their husbands to this movement, they said Dr. King literally was going out for a whole bunch of people that he didn't know. Meanwhile, he had a wife and children and siblings. That's like, is it really that worth it? Stay here with us. We need you too. So I do believe that it's a huge sacrifice a lot of times to obtain great things. Michael Jordan, we always think that we can have it all and it's all gonna work out. No, you can't do it that way. It's some sacrifices that comes along with great success.
I agree that there are sacrifices. I made an Instagram post a few weeks ago, and it said, you're building for your family, but make sure you don't forget about your family while you're in the process of building.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be, for me, in my opinion, there has to be that balance. There are things that I'm going to miss out on. So my family got together this Sunday and I wasn't there. And if you know me, I am a family ass person. Like, I love my family, but I had work to do. So I couldn't go. It wasn't a special occasion. It was just, oh, the family's getting together. And if I wasn't a full-time entrepreneur, I could have gone. But I am a full-time entrepreneur. So since it's not a major holiday, it's not someone's birthday, I say, hey, I have to skip out on this one. So I think it's important for you to know when to miss things and when to show up, because you want that balance. So if success for you looks like happiness within your family, time freedom so that you can spend time with your family, you don't know when your actual physical time is going to end on this earth. So we have to think about that too. So for me, I do want to make sure I have balance where I say, okay, this event is important. I'm going to skip out on work, on my business to spend time with my family. Okay, this family time, they just getting together. No, I can focus on my business.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. I think happiness and success are like hand in hand, and you really can't have one. You shouldn't have one without the other. And I believe happiness is a choice. So I also believe success is a choice. If you're in a place that you can't get out of, literally you can't get out of it, then you need to find success in that place. You need to find happiness in that place. And if there's a chance for you to wiggle your way out or claw your way out or climb your way out, then you set a plan, a strategy, you enact it, and you do that thing, and you reward yourself for the small incremental wins along the way. But as Keisha said, and like my husband lost both of his parents pretty young, suddenly. Life is not promised to any one of us, like not even the next minute. We just don't know what's going to happen. So you can't keep striving for the future. You need to embellish in the present, and you need to be consumed by it and find your happiness and success in it, because you'll never know if you're going to reach that thing that you're trying to attain. So you should never compromise your happiness for success. And if you are, I think you need to change your definition.
So it sounds like it sounds like success, literally, there's no definition for success. There's no universal definition for success, right? Success is really based on perspective, There should be some goals involved, right? There should be something that you're going after. It's progress. It's waking up and making sure that you're better off today than you were yesterday. Possibly make sure that your family is off better today than it was yesterday. Making sure that the family for tomorrow is prepared and set up. It's time. It's freedom. It's access. It's love. It's happiness, right? So that leads me to: can you have it all? Can you be successful and have it all? Can you be married if that's what success is to you? Because some people don't think that being married is success. So if that's your version of success, right? Kids, business, or if it's not business, maybe you just want to be the CEO of a company or work, that's fine too. Travel, money in the bank, investment, whatever all the things are that you want. Can you have it all and be successful?
Mm.
Okay, so when I look at Teddy, I feel like she has it all. I feel like
Ooh,
she
okay.
has family, she's married, she has children, she is an entrepreneur, she's a global traveler, she is a innovative woman. You know, I believe when you just say standards, I believe she has it all and some, because she has completed these things in using her brain, integrity, skill. You know, like, so I see women like her. You too, Lene. I know that you're not married, but I don't think that doesn't mean that you're not successful. But when I think of have it all, that love piece, having that factor, you know, having that love ship is a part of that factor. And she openly shares how, you know, being married and stuff is work. Like, it ain't easy.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see women like Teddy, I believe she has it all. Is that true, Teddy? Do you have it all? What are your thoughts?
Let's get it right on Teddy. Teddy, take it away.
If I left this earth, if I left this realm today, I would be so happy. I would be sad because I don't get to see my kids grow up and the beautiful people that they're going to grow up to be, and I don't have that hand and building them into the people that I really wish I had been growing up, so that they can pass that along. But no, I do feel like I have it all, but it doesn't mean I don't want more. But thank you. That is so sweet. I love that. You know, I try to be a positive, happy person, but we struggle. I'm the iceberg, right? Like, I'm working my job now, struggling with decisions and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to make the transition. But when you really look at it, you're like, what a problem to have. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going from this great thing to this other great thing. I feel successful being in the presence of you four ladies, counting Faye, who's not here on Tuesdays. I really feel successful. I feel so blessed and lucky to have been given this opportunity that we get to do this, and I look forward to it every time we go on. So I have it all. I do. I have it all. And if it stayed level, I'd be happy. I hate for it to get lower than this. But if it stayed level, I'd be happy.
What about you, Keisha? What do you think? Can you have it all and be successful?
I think that you can, as long as you have the mentality and the mindset. So just going back to Teddy, I feel that Teddy feels she has it all because she has that mindset of I have it all, right? We can have a woman in Teddy's position where that still complains about everything, right? We can have someone, there's always that one person that has a problem for every solution, right? So they got a problem for every solution. And it's just like, why is everything so negative with you? Like, I don't understand. So I think if you have that mindset that, yes, I have everything that I want and that I need, but of course I'm going to strive for more, then you have it all right now.
Yeah.
You have it all.
Ooh, that's good. I like that. So the easy answer is yes. I do believe you can have it all and be successful. I think all is personal, right? What is all considered to you? But also, I think what Chanel just said and did is perfect. We can look at somebody else and feel like they have it all. And because they have something that we don't have, we'll think that we don't have it all, right?
Mhm.
So if Teddy is married and living abroad and traveling and doing those things, then I think that she has it all. And since I'm not married, well, maybe I don't have it all. You know what I'm saying? So having it all is definitely in the eye of the beholder of what all is. Okay. So for me, if somebody were to look at me, oh, a lot of people would look at me like, oh my God, you have it all. But there's a lot of stuff I do not have. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your version of what having it all is may appear like I have it all, but there's some shit I don't have it together. There's some areas. And my team is here. You guys probably saw her get up and go back there. So I'm in Chicago doing the strategy meeting. And she literally is on me like, you girl, you don't got it all. We need to work on this and we need to work on this. Don't be over there flexing like you got it all. I am hot ass, okay? She didn't say it in those words. She didn't say it in those words, but the public persona, the social media persona of having it all, of being together. I'm a business coach. I'm a strategist. I have to look the part. Right. Sometimes I look at that pedestal and I'm like, damn, I hope I can be her one day. I hope I can be this girl that is presented, this woman that is presented on social media, that has it all, that holds it together, that doesn't have bad days, that doesn't fall, that doesn't fail. That's not the truth. The truth, I be crying in my Cheerios sometimes, like, oh Lord, I ain't gonna make it through the day. And that part is important when we talk about success and talk about having it all, because having it all looks impossible. Right? Having it all looks impossible. And I think that the point of this conversation is realizing that you can have it all in a particular area and be successful in a particular area. And that can be success. You don't have to have it all in every single aspect of your life to not be successful. If you have it all the way together in your finances, then be successful there. You may not be the way that you want. You may not have a husband. You may not be able to travel, but you are successful in those finances. Then work on everything else. Yeah. That doesn't mean you don't, bunny ears, have it all, right? So
yeah.
I would say
you can control. You have to control what you can control. Some things are out of your control. Right. And you have to just let that go. You have to find peace in your circumstance. And again, that is a personal decision. You have to choose to say, this is what I'm going to be happy with, and try to keep that and not keep reaching for something that's out of reach, especially when it comes to like looking at other people from the other. Grass is always greener. It's not, it is, the grass is always greener, but you don't know what they got going on. Focus on yourself, start looking internally. And I think we'd have many more people taking more chances if they weren't afraid of failure, or they weren't afraid of what someone else is going to think, or they weren't, you think about when you're growing up in your first job, or your second job, your third job, you lived. You had an apartment, you had a car, you fed yourself, and now you probably make 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much money as you were making back then, and you still feel like you're on the struggle bus sometimes. So you have to break that down and say, what am I doing that's causing me to feel this way, and how do I change it? And change it immediately. Choose to change and go forth like that. Because there's things like Keisha was talking about adult acne. Y'all, when I went to the Maldives, I was like, I ain't bringing no makeup. I'm going to be kissed by that sun. And then as soon as I turned that camera on, I saw my bumps on my forehead. I was like, oh, shit. I didn't have no makeup. And nobody got makeup. It's like there's no stores. Like, I was on the struggle bus for like a whole day mentally. Like, I'm a damn mess. And then when I get on camera, you guys, you just glowing. You glowing. I'm glad y'all like, I got these damn bumps on my forehead, and I don't know what I'm finna do. So you have to be vulnerable. You have to put yourself out there and say, this is who I'm gonna be. Take me or damn leave me. I don't give a damn. Like, I'm gonna clap for myself, and I'm gonna keep pushing. There you go. I am enough. Like, I don't need nobody's validation at all.
And I want to add to that, Teddy and Lene. You could have it all. You could want it all, right? But are you ready for all? Yeah. So that's another thing. So you could want the marriage, but are you ready for the marriage? Have you been preparing for the marriage? You could want the millions, but are you ready for the millions? Or are you going to just blow it once you get it and have to start from scratch? So you have to be ready. So while you don't have exactly what you want, you need to be positioning yourself and preparing yourself for that thing that you want.
So I'm going to end on this. Kia Michelle put, the secret to success is contentment. I do not personally agree with that sentiment. Personally, right? I think we have a lot of people walking around that are content. Like they are cool where they are, they're happy where they are. And no shade to those individuals. But to me, I think you get content when you settle. Like, all right, this is as good as it's going to get. So I'm just going to be happy here. I'm content. This can work. But that's my opinion. Like I always pray, Lord, please don't let me get content where I'm at. Please don't let me not be hungry anymore. Please don't let me slow down. Like I do know that there is a time and a place where you have to slow down and be happy with where you are. But I don't necessarily know if I would call it being content, right? Being content to me is like, all right, I'm gonna deal with what I got. I'm gonna settle right here. This is gonna be cool. And I don't personally think that that's success. Now, that's my take. What do you guys think? Do you think that success is being content?
There's a difference between being content and having gratitude. So I feel like gratitude, it allows you to say, I am grateful for where I am now, but I am still going to strive for more. I think some people that are content, it's like, oh, I don't need to strive for more. So I think that's the difference. And I think we have to be very careful with that. So you can have gratitude and still strive, like I said, but I don't think contentment allows you to really do that.
I think that what I think content, I like the context of content is the key, because I think contentment is necessary on the context of, the reason why they're taking trips to Mars is because they're just not content. There's no contentment with Earth. There's no contentment. The reason why the 1% refuse to stop while they're ahead is there's no contentment. I'm going to continue and continue and continue. See, when you're like regular, as when I say regular, when I feel like when you on a spectrum of like, things are still coming together. It's always that in the window of like a little bit more, keep pushing. But guess what? That's what the Republican Party sits around and say too. Let's do more. We can have more money. Let's go. So it's like it's a never-ending cycle. I think there is power in contentment. People can't make you feel small when you're content. People can't make you suicidal when you're content. People can't make you be unethical to have what they have when you're content. We got a lot of fraud and everything in this country because people are unhappy where they are, and they are willing to get to a lot of different places almost by any means necessary. So I think there's power in contentment.
Okay.
I like to tweak it just a little, like almost a grammar, tweak, and say contentment to me is like that satisfies. I'm satisfied, but then you have to take it one step further to happiness. And I say like contentment's a feeling, happiness to me is a choice. So in your contentment, are you settling? And if you're settled, then why aren't you happy? And if you can't use those words interchangeably,
I like that.
That's what you need to fix. Because you're like I think Lene said, it's just like, this is as good as it gets. So I'm like, this is it. But if you're happy, you're like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the difference. So I don't want to be content. I want to be happy, whatever that looks like. I want to be happy in my situation. And contentment is the first step to get there.
Like it. I like
yes, and yes. Man, listen, we had a great conversation today talking about success. I hope it was helpful to somebody who may be sitting somewhere looking at somebody else, thinking that that person is successful, discounting your success, maybe not feeling as successful as you could be or should be. And maybe you just never thought about measuring success. What does success look like for me? Not my mama, not my father, not my kids, not my boss, not the company I work for, but what does success look like for me? What am I getting up for every day? What am I trying to accomplish? What are my goals? Not what I see on social media, not what somebody else put in front of me or said before me, but what does success look like for me? How am I going after success? Have I arrived? Like somebody, that's kind of that also prompted this. I had a friend that was like, man, you have arrived. And I was like, no, I haven't. They was like, you look like you've arrived. Like you look successful. Like you're already doing it. And I'm like, but I'm not. And I haven't. Like, who who holds the success wand? Who
You
holds
do.
the success ruler? We
Right.
identify what success is, right? We do. As individuals, we do. And we sometimes you can't listen to what somebody else says because somebody will hype you up like, oh, I have arrived. This is good. I'm no, this is not good. This is not where success is at. This I am successful. I don't discount that. I don't disregard that. Teddy is successful. And she has, the marriage and the traveling abroad and the kids. She is successful. She may not have reached her pinnacle of success based on her measurements, but she is a success and she is successful. Same with Keisha, who left her jobs, has her own business. She's teaching people how to start businesses. Same with Madam President, working on nationally, globally recognized talk shows in the entertainment industry, has her own t-shirt line. Like everybody is successful and has success in their own right. What we do with it, how we measure it, and what we do next, that's up to us as individuals. Right. So, one final comment around the room before we go, and then we will adjourn until Thursday. So, I will start with Keisha.
Oh, hey. I didn't expect that. So I want to leave with the audience to, and I said it throughout the entire show, beware of destination happiness, destination success, where you say, I will be happy, I will successful when I get to a certain place, and be grateful and have appreciation for where you are now. Celebrate those small wins, because I believe celebrating those small wins will allow you to create that life of abundance, because you're seeing what you can do. You're seeing like, hey, I did this well. And I think also learn from those small successes. So what went well, and then recreate that. So I feel like that also helps you to have that ultimate success as well, when you're able to implement something and then duplicate it, because you learned from it and you said, okay, it was this, and this that was in place. Let me duplicate this so that I can continue to grow in my business, grow in my marriage, grow in my friendships, family, whatever it is. So gratitude and education and learning when it comes to success.
I like that. Madam President, I saw your list about to move. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't sure what direction you was going in next. I was like, okay, so what I want to say is, don't let the people around you, don't let the people around you, and don't let your own insecurities keep you content. All right, you know what you have internally. Also, the grass ain't always greener. I think I always say, if you ever try to have someone's life, keep in mind that you also have to have their death. This is not about, it's the race. It's the full race. It's not about in your 30s and your 40s. It's about, hey, when I'm 80 years old, when I'm 90 years old, it's longevity. It's not about just right now. So I just want to keep that in, just want to spread that off. And of course, you can always follow me at the Freedom Company, _Freedom_Company.
Boom. Teddy?
I definitely think the question is success possible? Absolutely, it's possible. I also think time travel is possible. The difference between the two is you can become successful in the next hour. You can wake up tomorrow and be successful because you reevaluated where you are and set your limits and your barometer. You said, you know what? I always wanted to be here, and I'm here, and I need to adjust how I look at it. So it is a mindset. It's a mindset. And have you ever met that person that you think may not have the best body, may not have the best looks, but they exude confidence, and that makes them more attractive? Whether it's, whoever it is, not that you're attracted to them, but you're like, man, the room lights up when he or she walks in the room, and not because they're super special, but their energy is carrying that. So you adjust yourself. You are going to determine your possibilities, and you can get there in minutes and seconds. You ain't got to wait till some scientist discovers it. It's in your hands right now. You wake up tomorrow and said, I am successful. And if you want to change what those levels look like, you do that thing. But it's all within your power right now at this moment.
Right now, at this moment. Is success possible? Yes, because you are possible. Anything that you touch is possible. Anything that you put your mind to is possible. Anything that you believe you can accomplish is possible. And you get to hold the wand for success. Success is measured by what you say it is, how you choose to live, what you choose to go after. Don't listen to the people around you. Don't let anybody change your success barometer. It's truly up to you. Don't look at what the Joneses got going on because, like, I think it was Teddy said, you don't know, no, Keisha, you don't know what's going on in the Joneses' house. Okay. Create your own success and also be grateful for the successes that you've already accomplished and don't discount those. I do it all the time. I'll put a post up and somebody will come back to me, remember you did this, remember you did this, I forgot I did that. Take stock. I would like to give everyone who's on here right now a task. Write down your successes.
Yes.
Like, just take a minute from, like, fifth grade maybe, and think about everything that you've accomplished in your life, all the different successes that you've had. It will make you stand up straighter the next room you walk into, the next negotiation you walk into, the next business deal, the next thing that you want to put your fingerprint on, the next thing that you decide that you want to do. Look at the things you've already accomplished. You will not feel like you are not successful. And it may empower you or encourage you to take a step of faith into something in your life. Writing that book, starting that business, hiring a business coach. I'm not going to do no shameless plug, but you know what I'm saying? Like, starting a t-shirt company, exiting, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's things on your heart that you've decided that you want to do that maybe you haven't looked back at your experiences and your successes to feel like you are in the right place at the right time, and it's your time to jump off the ledge so that you can have the success in your life and in your business and in your career that you are have been purposed for. So with that, I want to thank you guys for joining us on the Melanated Air Hour. I want to remind you to please go out and support each one of us, right? So you can you can catch me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at I am Lene Javette. You can find Teddy at The Real Teddy Talks. You can follow Keisha at We Inspire Brand. You can follow Madam President at One Madam President with a Z. You can always find us here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2:00 p.m. Eastern, live, having a conversation for this hour. It's all about melanin. So this is the Melanated Air Talk Show. Thank you for joining us. We will see you guys on Thursday.
Bye.